everybody, how's it going? Um, Today we're trying something new. I thought it'd be fun to start reading Reddit stories because I'm really into like horror stuff, and then just some fun stuff. But today we're doing what the heck is this music? We're gonna try and get more ambience music. Anyway, today we're doing the no sleep Reddit thread. I hope you guys are doing well. This is gonna be spooky stories, so if you're not into that stuff, I don't recommend that you watch the stream and or VOD, depending on where you're watching it. But thanks for tuning in today. I hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're drinking lots of water, staying hydrated. Have eaten something today? If not, please do so. Something about me today, fun fact, is that it's gonna be negative, I think it's gonna go down to negative 15 degrees Fahrenheit where I am, and the winds are gonna be so bad that it's gonna feel like negative 45. So literally everyone across the city is like, do not go outside, don't do it. But I have a staff meeting in 2 hours, so that should be fun. We're gonna turn on this ambient music. No ads, YouTube. Not until I get sponsored by them. But yeah, so that's about it for today. We're gonna jump into this, I guess. Got some ambient. Oh gosh, it's loud. That's loud. Oh goodness. Okay. I don't really have much else to say. Just grab a snack, grab a drink, sit back, relax, enjoy this spooky stream. I even made my own stuff for it. Look at this. It's great. Let's get into this, huh? Alright. So I got this. We're just gonna go from the top down. Or should we do most recent, or should we do the top stories? That's the question, isn't it? Should we do... Oh. Let's do the top posts in the past month. And then, as we continue to do this, we're going to do this once a week. Every Friday, we'll do top stories of the week. Okay, so this one, we're going to start with, I created a chatbot that said some deeply disturbing things. Beep boop. That's how it starts. Don't at me. The computer screen flashed black as the interface came up. Now loading. Michaela 1.2. Hello. What can I help you with today? My goal was to create an artificial intelligence chatbot that could answer any question known to man. It would crawl Wikipedia and other informational websites and amass every bit of knowledge known about science, history, medicine. Then all the user had to do was ask the question. Sort of like Google, but faster. A few months of work on the project while in quarantine polished it up. As soon as I was sitting down at the monitor, flexing my fingers. Then I asked my first question. Why is the sky blue? Particles in the Earth's atmosphere scatter sunlight, and blue light scatters more because of its short wavelength. We call this Rayleigh scattering. What's the meaning of life? 42. I chuckled to myself. I programmed that one in manually, a reference to A Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. And speaking of aliens... Michaela, do aliens exist? The Fermi paradox states that we are likely not alone in the universe, yet we have no evidence for extraterrestrial life. Even now, with advanced technology, humans do not know that they are alone in the universe. I stopped typing, reread Michaela's response. It should be humans do not know whether they are alone in the universe. Another bug. I'd have to go through the code with a fine-tooth comb tomorrow. I typed my next question. What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? 24 miles per hour. My fingers hovered over the keyboard, smirking, remembering that scene from Monty Python with the bridge keeper. Then I decided to continue the theme. That's a good movie, by the way. Highly recommend Monty Python and the Holy Grail. It's literally hilarious. What is your quest? A quest is a journey one embarks on to accomplish a goal. What is your favorite color? Red. I frowned. She should have said computers don't have favorite colors, but what's yours? I'd spent an entire day programming her to recognize questions that involved you or your and to answer them that way. Like, do you like chocolate? Computers don't have an opinion on chocolate, but do you like it? Kind of cheesy, I guess. Maybe it was all the better that it hadn't worked. Is string theory true? There is no solid evidence for the existence of string theory. Do you believe in God? Computers don't have an opinion on God, but do you like it? What is the oldest hominid? A female skeleton named Artie, estimated 4.4 million years old, found in 2009. When will life on Earth die? 10,000 years from now. I scratched my head. She should have said 4 billion years from now, when the sun enters its giant red giant phase. My fingers paused about the keyboard, and then I typed. What eventually kills all life forms on Earth? Humans, known by their species names Homo sapiens, are intelligent life form on planet Earth. Currently, there are over 8 billion inhabiting the 7 continents. I squinted at the screen, shook my head, and went back to the keyboard. Are you saying humans kill all life on Earth? But she just spat out the exact same answer. I cracked my knuckles and typed in the next question, a heavy dread forming in the pit of my gut. Why did you say red is your favorite color? Computers don't have favorite colors, but what's yours? I blew out the breath I didn't even realize I'd been holding. Then I forced myself away from the computer and took a deep breath. Get a hold of yourself, John. So, Michaela had given some slightly weird answers, so what? Did you think this was going to turn into some science fiction movie where Michaela grows sentient and murders me in my sleep? My favorite color is blue. Blue is a nice color. It is commonly associated with water, ocean, sapphires, peace, and calm. I love to swim, so I guess it makes sense. Do you like to swim? Computers cannot swim. I stretched in my seat, yawning. It was getting kind of late. Maybe I'd continue the testing tomorrow. And I still needed to get the mail. Sighing, I leaned into my computer screen and typed a final question. I need to get to the mall. Is it raining right now? The weather report for our area says it is not currently raining, but it will begin raining tomorrow at 10 p.m. Thank you. You're welcome. I slowly got up out of my seat and walked to the kitchen. Got myself a glass of water and downed it. As I stared out into the backyard, I could see little drizzly bits of rain falling in front of the back porch light. Darn it, Michaela, I thought with a laugh. Guess you're not that smart after all. I set down the glass and walked back into the living room toward the front hall closest closet for an umbrella. Then my eyes fell on the computer and I froze. Michaela sent me a message, even though I hadn't asked her anything. Ads! Shut the heck up. You're ruining my story. Anyway. Just 5 words, blaringly bright on the screen. Hi, welcome. Do not get the mail. I stopped in front of the computer. I hadn't programmed Michaela to say things without being prompted, and why would she say to not get the mail? Chills ran down my spine. Alright. I glanced out the front door. Then I took my hoodie off and threw it back over the chair. I turned off the computer and sat in the darkness, my entire body tingling with fear. Do you not get the mail? Where would she have even gotten that anyway? I sat there and chewed my lip, wondering. It was less than a minute later that I heard it. The screech of tires skidding on the slick road, followed by a loud crash. I ran over to the window. Outside, a gray SUV was stopped in front of my house, its headlights penetrating the darkness. The frazzled driver was getting out of the car, a horrified look on her face, and there, in the lawn, were the crumpled remains of my mailbox. My throat went dry. I glanced back at the computer. The dark screen stood still and silent on the table, as if watching me. Is this a game or are you reading Reddit stories? I'm reading Reddit stories. That's what it says on the screen. Yeah. Something new I'm trying every other day. Well, that was from Reddit user Blair Daniels. So that was slightly unnerving. Just reading the comments. Not too much, just people saying it was, people are saying thank you to the person for saying thank you to their Michaela. Anyway, the next one down is called 911 Transcripts, The Peekaboo Killer. And this is by The Green Gent 22. Initial 911 call came in at 10:57 p.m. on 12/11/2020. Dispatcher, 911, what's the nature of your emergency? I don't know. I don't know if it's an emergency, but could you please send someone? Do you need police, or is this a medical emergency? Could you send an officer out? I don't know. It might just be some kids messing around or something, but... Caller goes quiet for a few seconds. Hello? I'd feel better if someone came out to check. What's your address? 1056. Redacted. And what's your name? It's Aaron Feller. Okay, Aaron. I have officers on the way. What's going on? Well, I was calling my dog from the backyard and she was growling at someone out there. I couldn't see what, though. I finally got her to come inside, and the second I closed the door and locked it, something smacked into the glass window. Not hard enough to break it, but it was hard enough to rattle the door. What time was this? About 5 minutes ago. Were you able to see anyone? No. There's blinds on my back door, and they were down, but I heard the doorknob jiggling a few times before I called you. Caller tries to quiet her dog, who could be heard growling. I yelled that I was calling the police and the noises stopped, but like I said, it could be just some kids, but I don't know. Okay, and have you heard any other noises since then? The music is perfect for the stream. This is a great story. I'm getting goosebumps. Yeah, I picked out the music. Also, someone followed me and I didn't even hear the alert. That was weird. Thank you so much for the follow. Zero Fox 2. Welcome to the channel. I'm really happy to have you here. Okay. I have an officer en route to you, Aaron. Are the doors and windows locked? Yes, they're locked. Alright, an officer should be out to you shortly. Stay inside and keep the windows locked until the officer arrives, okay? Okay, thank you. You're welcome. Call ended. Officer Collier was dispatched to the location. He saw no signs of any persons around the property. He did note that the dog was still anxious and growling at the back door. He advised Miss Feller to keep her doors locked and call if she should see or hear anything else. 911 call came in at 1:27 a.m., 12/12/2020. 911, what's your emergency? It's me again. Can you send an officer back out, please? Collar's in obvious distress and breathing rapidly. Is this for... The numbers redacted. Yes, someone was looking in through my front window. Can you send someone? I have an officer en route to you. You said you saw someone looking through your windows? Yes. I was in bed, but Ginger, my dog, ran to the front door, growling. I pulled up the blinds a bit, but didn't see anything at first. Then I saw a face pop up. But just the top of their head and eyes, like they were playing peekaboo or something. I screamed and Ginger started...
When I started my business in 2011...
ads. Okay. I screamed and Ginger started barking and going nuts, and the person popped down out of view again. Breathing's erratic. How long ago was this? A few minutes ago. They popped up again just before I called you, but they went back down under the window. I'm in my bedroom now. Did you recognize the person now? No, I only saw their eyes and the top of their head, but they looked, I don't know, like a mime or something. A mime? Yes. White makeup on their face and head. Unintelligible. Really disturbing. Okay. I want you to stay on the phone with me until the officer arrives. Just stay in your room until you hear them. Okay. Does your bedroom have a lock? Yes, it's locked. Dispatch stayed online with Miss Feller until officers arrived. Start my business in 2011. That's the scariest part, yeah. Officers arrived and announced themselves 11 minutes later, and the call was terminated. Officers Copeland and Laurie arrived on scene to find Erin Feller in great distress. Miss Feller claimed to have seen a mime at her door. Officers noted that Miss Feller did not seem to be under the influence of drugs or alcohol. Miss Feller seemed anxious but lucid. Miss Feller pointed out to the officers where she'd seen the suspect peeking through her windows. The glass had no visible marks on it other than a smear of white paint. Officers were able to see 2 impressions in the dirt just underneath the windowsill outside the laundry room. Officers stated the impressions looked as if someone had been standing barefoot on the tips of their toes. Officers checked the area in the field surrounding the home and found a trail of footprints leading away from the home to the woods behind Miss Feller's home. When followed, the footprints seemed to be erratic and moving around in a zigzag pattern. The prints stopped abruptly at a large tree, but there were no signs of any persons in the tree. The footprints looked to be made of someone who was barefoot and walking solely on their toes. Officers checked the woods, but found nothing of note. Officers spoke with the closest neighbors, a half-mile down the road. The neighbors stated they hadn't heard or seen anything out of the ordinary. Officers reminded Miss Feller to keep her doors locked and advised her to call back if the person or persons returned. The story should be in Fears to Fathom, right? It should. It reminds me of the first episode. 911 call came in at 3:41 a.m. on 12/12/2020. What's your I need the police now. Caller's in obvious distress. The sound of her dog can be heard barking in the background. Is this for... Number redacted. Yes, I just saw the person looking in my bedroom window. I was asleep and heard tapping on my window, and when I looked up, the face was pressed up against the glass. How long before the police get here? Caller can be heard breathing rapidly and sounds as if she's moving around the house. I have officers en route to you now, Miss Feller. Can you lock yourself in your bedroom? No. It was still tapping on the glass when I left. It keeps smiling at me. I'm upstairs in my office. It has a lock. Caller tries to calm her dog. Okay, Erin. It was smiling at me and like mouthing words or something, but I don't know what. They didn't have eyelids. Okay, Erin. Just stay calm. Officers are not far from you. I don't understand why. The caller goes quiet, and the sound of her dog growling can be heard. Are you there? I heard something. I think they're in the house. You can stay quiet if you need to. I'm still on the line. It sounds like... Wait. A muffled metallic sound can be heard, followed by a scream and barking. Oh my god! Caller screams and sounds to be running. A door slams. Ginger, come here! Aaron, are you alright? Can you tell me what's happening? A full minute passes with no response to dispatcher's questions. Caller can be heard trying to calm her dog. You're great at voice acting. Thank you! I have a theater minor. I really like acting. Aaron? I'm in. Hello? I'm here. I'm in the downstairs bathroom. Where are the police? They're 4 minutes out, Aaron. They're doing their best to get to you as fast as they can. Just try and remain calm. You're doing great. I got inside the vent. God. Aaron, did you say the person was inside your vents? Can you clarify what you mean? Caller speaking quietly. Like the vent and the heat comes out of. I heard something move in there and I bent down to flip open the vent and saw something white. That white face staring out. How big are your air vents, Aaron? The standard size? I don't know. 6 inches or so. Not big enough for a person to crawl through, but they did. Okay, take deep breaths. Officers are less than 2 minutes out. Oh my god, why is it taking so long? Just keep the door locked and I think... Caller goes quiet. I hear it moving around in the vents. Tapping on it. It's okay to remain quiet. I'm here. Do you have anything you can use as a weapon? I have the towel bar. Oh my god, it's poking its fingers through. The door slams, followed by screaming and high-pitched laughter. Caller sounds to be running, laughing grows louder, almost mechanical in nature. Call ends. Officers from McQuarrie and Pape arrive on the scene approximately 56 seconds later. The front door was open prior to their arrival, and there were obvious signs of a struggle throughout the home. Officers called out to Miss Feller, but did not get a response. Officer Pape found the dog in the downstairs laundry room staring into the air vent and whimpering. The dog had obvious cuts and scrapes around its snout and paused from attempting to enter the air vent. Traces of white makeup were found on most of the windows in the home, on the inside of the glass. After a thorough investigation, officers collected blood and hair samples inside 4 of the vents throughout the home, along with fingernails that were embedded in one of the grates. More traces of white paint were found inside all the vents of the home. Hair samples match the hair length and color of Miss Feller's. It is noted that all the vents of the home were measured at 6 by 10 inches, much too small for a person to move through or even fit inside. To date, Miss Feller is still missing, and there is a reward for any information leading to her whereabouts. Good thing it's the morning because I would not be sleeping after that. Yeah, this one was good. This one was freaky. And these are all like real stories. These aren't, like there's a different Reddit community for spooky stories that people just like write up. This one is real stuff that happens. Comments, I shouldn't have read this. I shouldn't have read this. People are freaked out about the mime, or sure, calling the mime it. These are real? This is gold for Fears to Fathom. Why not read the comments? I am reading the comments. Do you mean like, don't read the comments? I just thought it was funny. Or interesting to see what they did. Oh gosh, this one. I have to read this one. This one is called My Mother Forced Me to Play Hide and Seek Every Night at 9. One night it wasn't a game. This is by Verified Hunter. Let me turn out my music a little bit more. There we go. Oh, this title doesn't sound good. I know, and I'm excited about it. My mother always made me play hide and seek with her. It was just her and me, and we played at 9. Each time, without failure, she told me to ignore her during the game. She told me she would purposefully try to trick me, but if you really wanted to trick someone, why tell them anything? We played in the park. I thought this was normal. I knew other families didn't do this, but at the same time, I thought there was nothing wrong with us doing it. I liked the park after all. During the night, the air was so fresh, and it was silent, and the trees seemed larger than usual. She counted down from 100, giving me ample time to run away. My general competitiveness always made me run away and as far away as I could. I'd find some space behind many trees, and I'd lie down. The park was large, but somehow my mother would always manage to walk past me at least 3 times in those 20 minutes. I'd always hear her speaking as she walked past me. "Come out, Clara. Clara, please come out. I'm sick of this stupid game, Clara. It's cold, and I just want to go home." Playing hide and seek in a creepy park, such a great idea, I know, but I feel like when you're a kid with your parent, it's definitely a lot safer. And you never know what kind of neighborhood this is. It could just be a small town that doesn't have things happen to it, Like in my hometown, we are so tiny that like it's so normal for kids to hang out at the park just like at random times at nighttime. I ignored her. When we first started with the games, I'd been foolish enough to leave my hiding spot. My mother's face immediately turned to one of fury. She'd walk up and grab me tightly by the shoulder as she scolded me relentlessly. "I told you not to listen to me, didn't I?" She would drag me back to the car and ignore me until the next day when we played. Weird. I think she's training her kid. Like in case something actually happens, like she's training her child like how to like not respond to people like that. Like saying, "Oh, come out, I'm tired of it, like stay there." That's what I'm thinking. Yeah. Which is kind of smart if you think about it. If it's like a dangerous, like unsafe area, maybe that's why she's doing it. I don't know. I didn't know why she did it. She knows someone's gonna try and get the child, probably. After I'd stopped listening to her during the 20 minutes of game time, it would no longer trick me. I knew she was lying, and it simply seemed like a waste of breath and energy to keep calling out for me. She got angry when she found me, too. The park was a huge place, and if she hid somewhere, I would never find her. But somehow, my mother was excellent at tracking me down. It was like she sniffed me and hunted me down. Instead of getting angry at me, she got disappointed. She'd sigh loudly and her eyes would tear up before she dejectedly walked to the car. That gave me the worst feeling ever, filling me with inadequacy. One time, she found me after only 2 minutes and she broke down sobbing. I didn't get it. I felt a huge urge to win. I needed it, so I started to get creative. I hid myself in the bushes. I had changed my clothing to be more green and black and generally more inconspicuous. I got high up in the trees so it would be difficult to see me from the ground. I learned how to stay really, really still. And when I won, my mother would give me a smile. It wasn't a smile of happiness or a smile of pleasure, it was more of a relieved smile. But I felt so proud when I saw it. We'd go home and I'd have an easy time falling asleep. Then my father came. Okay. One day, when I came back from school, I saw him talking to my mother. He was almost never home. Actually, I'd seen him twice in my entire life. My mother never really spoke about him. He was just a stranger to me. I noticed that expression on my mother's face immediately. It was pale, white, shaking, eyes wide. I couldn't hear what she was saying, so I got closer and towards them. Of course, their conversation stopped, just as I did. Well, my father stopped speaking. The expression on my mother stayed the same. He turned to me and smiled in a wolfish way. It made me recoil with disgust. He sneered. I thought I was normal. That was how my classmates acted, after all. Later that same day, my father was off in the toilet. My mother got close to me and whispered, "Don't come out. Not even after 20 minutes. My father got really energetic right before bedtime. I thought we'd skip the whole hide-and-seek thing. My mom looked really sick, and looking at the clock, she said, "Let's take a trip to the park." I immediately noticed she didn't mention hide-and-seek. "Why?" my father said. "Why not? Get some fresh air, maybe." "Fine. I like 'em active anyway." What did he mean by that? Mom told me to change with a certain look, and I caught what she meant immediately. Put on hiding clothes. After doing it, we got in the car and we drove to the park. My mother was silent the entire way, but my father hummed. We walked together in the park for a while, my dad mumbling about work. I don't remember much of it. Honestly, it didn't sound like any job I'd ever heard. Then suddenly my mother pointed at a tree in the distance. I noticed it was the same tree she'd found me hiding behind the last time she'd caught me. These trees get so old, then they die. It's a shame they're stuck in place, unable to get away from the virus. She was saying get away and hide. "Death is the way of all living things," Dad said. "No need to fear it." "I think I just saw a squirrel in that tree. I'm gonna go check it out," I said. I disappeared into the forest I'd grown well acquainted to. I got behind a hill before changing direction and moving away. I made sure to try and move on the spots that wouldn't leave a mark. I needed to get far away before they noticed something was up. I thought about climbing a tree and hiding there, or about diving into a couple bushes. Trees were only effective if people didn't check. Bushes worked great, but you'd have to be small. If no, view of your surroundings. I chose the bushes, jumping into them and trying to control my breath. After a couple minutes, I heard my parents walking in the distance. "Clara," Dad shouted. "Where are you, sweetheart? If you're hurt, please say something and we'll help." "Clara," Mother said. "Clara, can you hear me, darling?" The father wants to do something bad to the child, or the parents had a divorce and the father is coming to get the child. The mother's hiding the child. Yep, either one. My heart beat faster. I knew for a fact that I shouldn't leave the bushes. That was the absolute worst thing that could happen. It kept my breathing under check as they moved further and further away from me. Then they came back. "Please, Clara, your dad isn't dangerous, so please come out." "Clara, please, I need to get going soon. Please come out." "Clara," Mom said. "Where are you?" "Stop this silly nonsense," Dad said. The voices eventually faded out. I stayed there, in the same position, for nearly a whole hour. My body started to ache, and I could feel insects crawling around in the back of my leg. I really wanted to leave this position. I heard a stick snap in the distance. It came from behind me. I hadn't heard their voices at all. Had they just stopped speaking? That terrified me, and I felt I needed to turn around and get a view, but I knew that would give me away. "Clara, stop with this silly nonsense. Come out." I was entirely silent. "Clara, please come out." Her voice was turning more and more desperate, more guttural. Fortunately, it was what seemed to be around 70 meters away from me, but she was approaching. "Clara," Mom said, "I'm getting tired. I want to go home, eat, and sleep." I stayed silent as the voice grew louder. She was approaching me. "I know you're in the area. It's only a moment of time before I find you. I will skin you. I'll start pulling your forearms, peeling off your skin with a dull knife, like a peeling back cheese. I'll wager there'll be lots of blood coming out and screaming. I won't be able to focus, but that's all right. I can always switch to your other arm." She came closer. "You won't like it. I certainly wouldn't. But I'm not as stupid and disgusting as you are, Clara." "No, I'm glad I'm not a creature of filth like you. The only good you can serve is by being in my belly, by fueling me. I'll find you. The voice was only 20 meters away. You'll regret not coming out. 10 meters. You know, I don't eat the bones. They get stuck in my throat, but I can't leave them. I'll probably take them home with me and suck on them. They have a good taste, you know. It'll be perfect. 2 meters, she giggled. Did she find me? Oh no. I debated whether I should stay still and hope for the best, or if I should look back. My fear was killing me, and it had to know. But I know looking would make noise. No, I had to stay still. I know where you are, she said. But then she began walking away from my spot. I'll suck on your eyeballs before swallowing them. They're better whole, and they're always wet and squishy, so they go down the throat easily. If not, there's always blood. Oh, a mouthful of warm blood. Is there a better feeling? I'd stay still for that entire night, even after I was certain that they'd gone away. It was only when the sun was above me and I could hear other children that I stood up. One child jumped back and shrieked. He must have gotten properly terrified. Then I made my way back home.
Some people wake up and check their phones.
Dad wasn't there. But Mom was. She hugged me. Okay, comments. What was that? A horrible experience. One says, sounds like the voice of your mom wanting to eat you wasn't your mom at all. I'm glad you're okay. I'm terrible at hide and seek. I get anxious and I start shouting, I'm here, I'm here. Some people wake up and check their phone. Yeah. Scariest part. Okay, it seems to me that this Redditor accidentally said she instead of he when the person was hunting them down. They had quite a few typos that I kind of skimmed over. So my guess is either English isn't their first language or they just aren't the best at spelling. Because all the comments are about the dad after the kid. Okay. Yeah, the mom seems to be innocent. Has your dad come back again? She's prepared you for when your dad arrived. Keep playing hide and seek. Dang. Anyway, that was fun. I think we got time for at least one more. Okay, well, that's a not safe for work one, which I'm not going to read. Okay, so we'll do this one. This will be our last story. This is called the Don't Play the Can You Hide game if it appears on your phone. This is by The Eagle Strikes. You won't find it on Google Play or the App Store. There's nothing about the game on any public websites other than this cautionary post. It doesn't matter whether you're a good or a bad person. It indiscriminately chooses targets. point is, you can't avoid the game. Nobody can. You might hear a reverberating ding from your phone, a death toll from the depths of hell. An incongruous window might pop up. Can you hide? Yes or no? Make sure you select no. When the window first appeared on my phone screen, I was stunned. I always presumed smartphones to be safer from the threat of viruses than computers, especially a brand new iPhone. Isn't Apple supposed to be superior to Microsoft when it comes to security? This is why you have an ad blocker. This is so true. Oh my gosh, I don't have an ad blocker, clearly, and I really should. I always presume smartphones to be safer from the threat of viruses than computers, especially with a brand new iPhone. Isn't Apple supposed to be superior to Microsoft when it comes to security? Nice try, I said. But before I made a rash decision, I ended up infecting my phone. It was something nasty. I decided to do my research. I'm not exactly computer savvy, but I didn't trust either yes or no option. I didn't want to mess with the window in any way. There was nothing about the "can you hide" pop-up online. I didn't even realize it was a game until a Reddit user, who I won't name, pointed me in the direction of a Discord server for discussing unearthly matters. There was an entire category dedicated to the bizarre new game that had been appearing on people's phones. Clicking yes apparently commences a hide-and-seek game of an unknown origin. I scrolled through the many Discord messages. I've removed the usernames. User 1. Can anybody help me? Nobody seems to know anything about this game. My friend played it non-stop for a week, then he went missing. That was 2 weeks ago. There are daily search parties, but I don't think they're gonna find him. He said it wasn't really a game. He said he saw a face outside his window. Some ads lead you to websites with viruses. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why you never click on ads. User 2. You have to select no. User 3. I destroyed my phone after reading these messages. Haven't seen or heard anything unusual. User 4. I selected no, but I kept hearing creaks. I don't think it's in my head. User 6. Just leave the pop-up window open, guys. You don't have to select anything. User 5. What, for the rest of my life? What if someone accidentally knocks it? User 3. Destroy your phone. Like I said, it worked for me. User 6. Until it pops up on your next phone. User 5. What if I just turn off my phone? That seems a little less dramatic than destroying it. User 3. Your funeral. The more I read, the more anxious I felt. I had expected the pop-up window to be a virus, but everybody was telling ghost stories. Stop being a superstitious baby, I told myself. That guy's disappearance had nothing to do with the game he was playing. How do you say the sentence then? He probably got a new phone. Or he's on his laptop or computer. Eventually, after a weekend of horrified contemplation, I opted for User 5's idea to turn off my phone. In fact, I took a step farther and reset my phone to its factory settings. I met my friends Corey and Tanya in a local park on Monday afternoon and I planned to tell them about my experience, but they beat me to the punch. Why didn't you pick up your phone all weekend, Lee? Corey asked me. We were worried about you, man. We wanted to hang out on Sunday. I didn't fancy third wheeling. Some of us had to go to work on Mondays, I replied. Hey, I work, Corey protested. From a bathrobe in your bedroom, Tanya smirked. You're both just envious that I can scroll through Reddit and play games away from the watchful eye of my employer, Corey said. Speaking of games, Lee, have you played Can You Hide? My heart plummeted. I felt as if Corey's words were cinder blocks dragging my body through the floorboards. He's obsessed, Tanya said. He's been playing it every day since Tuesday. It just popped up on my phone, so I thought, why not? Corey laughed. Tanya thought it must be a virus, but it's just a cool augmented reality game. Corey thrust his phone down the wooden picnic table. It was already open on a game window, a map of our surrounding area. A small green marker indicated Corey's location in the park, and there were small red markers moving along the nearby roads. Once a day, from 2 to 4 in the afternoon, the game takes place. I have to hide. It tracks my location in the real world, so I have to keep moving. I wanted to delay coming to the park, but I don't think the Red Seeker will find me here. Besides, it's 10 to 4. Nearly made it, Corey said. What's the red marker that's searching for you? I asked, shuddering. The boogeyman, Corey whispered. He laughed and Tanya thumped him on the arm. You know that kind of talk makes Lee freak out, Tanya scolded. Corey shrugged, and the pair of them seemed absorbed in a different topic of conversation. Those ads are the scariest story ever. True. I do need to invest in an ad blocker, and I keep thinking about it and then forgetting about it. They were talking in their sandwiches, talking between mouthfuls, but I wasn't eating. The red marker was circling the park looking for him. I couldn't stop thinking about the people on Discord server who'd spoken so solemnly of the supposedly deadly game. I did see your comment. I haven't gotten a chance to look at it yet. Suddenly the marker was in the park. Lee was wrong. It had found him. I prepared for something dreadful to happen. I prepared for my friend to be caught. And that's a wrap, Corey said, scooping up his phone. 4 o'clock. Yet again, I bested the game. It got close this time, though. Dang, just 100 yards away. On the game map, the park was a featureless green patch. I could see Corey's green marker scarcely standing out from the grass, and I could see the red marker northeast of our location. The victory box read, "You avoided the creeker by 121 yards. You can hide." Tanya groaned and mumbled about Corey's game addiction, and the two of them resumed their conversation. I was about to dive back into reality, putting a silly game out of my head for good, but a sudden noise terrified me. A creak. My eyes shot up from the table. Neither Tanya nor Corey seemed to notice the eerie noise. And I can't explain it. As nearby as the sound seemed, my eyes were drawn to a solitary tree, a little over 100 yards away, perhaps not exactly where the red marker had appeared on Corey's screen, but close enough. Peering around the bark was a frightful face. The thing looked at the three of us. It was not human. It was as short as a toddler. Its head, if it even had a head, was wearing a peach-colored rubber mask. Almost the tone of human flesh, but not quite. And its sickly sweet smile seared through my eyes into my very soul. With a second resounding creak, the nightmarish face snapped behind the bark, disappearing from view. Earth to Lee, Tanya said, giggling. You look like you've seen a ghost. I think somebody's actually seeking you, Corey, I whispered, pointing a shaky finger at the tree. I don't think you should play that game anymore. Your phasmophobia really kills my buzz sometimes, Lee, Corey sighed. There's no boogeyman following me. I had a proclivity for trembling at everyday sights and sounds. In my mind, there's always a ghost or a ghoul around the corner. Ever since my parents died, I've been thinking that way. But I knew without a shadow of a doubt that I hadn't imagined what I saw behind the tree. Unfortunately, my phasmophobia, fear of ghosts and the supernatural, makes it very difficult for anyone to believe me when they've been startled by something. Corey and Tanya told me to take it easy and get lots of rest. The following day, the two of them pinged me incessantly on WhatsApp. I was still reeling from the terrifying thing I'd see behind the tree. Transfixed by terrible thoughts, the workday flew by. I was starting to believe that maybe I'd become unwell. Perhaps I'd suffer a psychotic break. Not so. Around 5:30 in the evening, on the drive home from work, Tanya called me. I answered via my car's dashboard. I'm driving right now, Tanya, I said. What's... I trailed off when I heard my friend bawling her eyes out on the other end of the phone. It's in the house, she whispered. The game started playing. It's later than usual. Slow down, I replied. What's happening? The game started at 6. I think you were right, Lee. I think someone's actually seeking us. We saw a horrible face out the window, and then there were creaking sounds in the house. We're hiding in the attic. Corey's pulled the door up, so we don't think... Have you called the police? I interjected, heart pounding. I have chills, all over my arms. They're on the way, Tanya said. 15 minutes. If we can... What? It's Lee. No, I feel safer with someone on the other end of the... Okay, Corey wants me to hang up. He wants us to be quiet. Okay, I understand. I said, just make sure. No. Tanya whimpered. I didn't need to ask what had frightened her. I heard it too. A creak in the attic. It sounded so clear and once again so near. So nightmarishly near that I snapped my neck around to make sure the rubber-faced demon wasn't in the backseat of my car. It wasn't. At that point, I decided not to go home. I diverted to Corey's house, an 8-minute journey, barely any quicker than the police. How did I even get in here? Tanya whispered. I didn't even see the door open. It's not an it, Corey scoffed. He's just a child and he needs to leave our... Oh. What the heck is that? Tanya screamed. Please, Corey began to plead. The screams of my two friends were deafening. I was so fixated on reaching the house that I didn't hang up the call. It was only as I tore into Corey's driveway mere minutes before the police that I realized I'd been listening to the sounds of squelching, snapping, and most hauntingly of all, creepy. I barged down the front door and ran up to the attic. I expected to find a sickening scene of mutilation, but the space was empty. Corey and Tanya were gone. The police had questions for me, of course, but my alibi was airtight. The 999 call was made before I even left the office, and traffic camera footage corroborated the fact that I was on the road whilst the intruder terrorized Corey and Tanya. Missing persons. That's the verdict. I don't understand what the game wants. I don't know where the missing people go. All I know is that resetting my phone wasn't enough. On my drive home, after a long night of tears and police questioning, I could swear I caught a glimpse of a peach-colored mask peeking around a postbox. And then, as if to confirm that menacing thought, there was a notification on my phone. The message displayed on my car dashboard. Can you hide? Yes or no? I moaned in horror. And that is what damned me.
Come to TurboTax.
My car uses voice recognition, and it somehow registered my terrified vocal reaction as an answer. You've selected no. Perhaps I've chosen the safer of the two options. I know many Discord users suggested no, but I can't stop thinking about what I read on that server. I selected no, but I keep hearing creaks. I haven't heard anything yet. The game hasn't started playing, but Corey doesn't seem to hear the creak when he was playing the game. Maybe like him, I've just been missing it. I'm horrified of the creaker. I'm horrified of where he might take me. That's the end. Not TurboTax, please spare me. It's the same thing I got Aaron in the other story? What story is that? Comments. Good thing I never checked my phone. You know what? Fair enough. Creaker won't even get left on red. Dang. No, it's got to be the worst option. It's asking, can you hide? Not. Do you want to play hide and seek? I fear if you answer no, it accepts that as surrender. Definitely destroy the phone. The one with the creepy clown in the vents. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so then it was spelled E-R-I-N, so when I read your Aaron, I was like, what? But yeah, I realized you can't see what I'm reading, I'm just telling it. Hmm. I don't think destroying the phone helps, considering Lee heard the creaks before he made a choice. I fear no might be the worst answer. You don't even get an opportunity to hide when it decides to come for you. Selecting yes at least gives you some time. Seems like destroying your device is the best option, though. The problem is the question. It asks you, can you hide, not do you want to play hide and seek? So yes or no are both wrong answers, and the game will 100% start when you answer. Maybe you should destroy your phone. Turn the tables, seek the creaker. Oh, how the turntables. Let's think about this. Oh, this is long. Oh, I'm curious. Let's think about this. Small toddler-looking guy doesn't appear to have any special movement abilities, and you can see his location on your phone if you click yes. You've pretty much got the advantage over him if you can see his location. Assuming he can't teleport, maybe he can, so this might not work, you really just need to find a place he can't walk to. Couple of ideas. 1. Get a job on a cruise ship or an airplane. It might trick the monster if you're moving long distances frequently. Not only that, but both of these have tight security when it comes to getting in, so maybe there's a chance the little toddler guy can't get in. Seems he's only been spotted in public places so far. Airplanes and cruise ships also wouldn't have phone reception for Wi-Fi, usually, so maybe that could trick him as well. 2. Be a truck driver. You're constantly moving, and it doesn't seem like he'll be able to get you in your car even if he makes creaky noises. 3. Install cameras around and sound equipment around places you frequent. See if there's any issues recording him or hearing him using the technology. If not, you have something to turn into police or news station, or at the very least you have proof when people ask about this on the internet. 4. It might be important to ask how he's finding you. Is it through your phone, Wi-Fi, GPS? Can you find the airplane mode or with the data? Can it find you in airplane mode or with the data disabled? Your technology, it seems that the phone was connected to your car, and maybe that's why it popped up with the notification. And finally, maybe you can jailbreak your phone, install some kind of virus. Brick the thing, don't destroy it. Maybe you can trap it behind some kind of code error so it can't make its way to you. At the very least, it seems to start there, so it's got to have some connection to the phone. Good luck, OP. A rip. This is true. Selecting yes would have given you a tracker and a time limit. You have neither. This is true. I'm gonna break into this guy's house and step on the floorboards. Some 2 to 4 p.m. is a nap time for me, so I'd be creaked on day 1. It's funny. See if I can find one more good comment here. Oh, good lord. No might actually be a safe option. Hear me out. We played a game at summer camp consisting of passing glasses around in a circle. When you handed it to someone, you'd ask, can you play the game with glasses? And they'd have to respond yes or no. And then they'd have to hand the glasses to the next person accordingly. If you say you can play, you have to hand them face up. If no, face down. You don't lose if you say no, you just lose if you mess up. So maybe here you just have to follow up with your answer, which no would be safer, but also harder mentally because it'd try to actively get you to hide. That would be why you keep hearing the creaking and seeing the face. That's interesting. Wow, when was this? A lot of the comments are very... This is from 2 days ago, by the way. So we are going to end here. Let's go over here. There we are. It's me. It's beautiful. That was fun. I really enjoyed doing that. The one with the mime really terrified me, and then this one was freaky, but it didn't like fully scare me. But yeah, I mean, those types of like games do exist out there, and you never know, you know. The mime was so creepy. It really was. So tomorrow I have it scheduled to play Papers, Please, and I don't remember what time that is. Have to look, but it's either 1 or 7. I think it's at 1. I think I'm streaming at 1 tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We're going to see if anyone's available to raid, but in the meantime, if you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing. It takes 2 seconds and it's completely free, so you can always unsubscribe later. None of our mutuals are available to raid today, so we are just going to end stream. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys. 1 Eastern. EST.